Yeah, it was pretty good. Okay, maybe I should go into just a little bit more detail about Solo, a Star Wars story. I'll begin by saying that I had no excitement, no high expectations for Solo whatsoever. And that's weird for me though, because I am a die-hard Star Wars fan, but I was just not interested in really watching this film. I didn't see it on its opening debut. I waited quite a few days before I even saw this film, which is shocking for me because every single Star Wars film that we've had previously, I saw it pretty much immediately as soon as it came out. I was just not in a rush to go see this film. But saying that, after seeing it, I liked it. I thought it was good. Not great, but I think after The Last Jedi, good was all the film really had to be. Because this film, one of the advantages I think that this film has compared to the previous film that we've had, The Last Jedi, is that Solo is a standalone story. With regards to The Last Jedi, which is a direct sequel to Force Awakens, it's telling a direct story told by its predecessor. And so, with regards to Solo, since you have a standalone story with Solo, you would think that there was a lot of creative control. But as we all know, this film, like Rogue One, which turned out to be really good, Solo had a lot of development problems with different directors, with reshoots. Considering that all the problems that this film had, it turned out pretty good, at least in my opinion. The guys that they got to play young Han Solo and Lando, I thought they were great. They were definitely believable. They had great chemistry with each other. Especially young Han and Chewie. You can definitely see the beginnings of that iconic friendship between these two characters. And I can definitely buy young Han Solo as this Harrison Ford persona that will eventually come to be in the original series. Because I think that if you're going to do a story about a young Han Solo, don't try and mimic Harrison Ford. Don't do it. Just make this character his own personality. Because bear in mind, this is set like 20 years before the original film. And I think with young Han Solo as he is in this time period, he's like this young, brash, he's a troublemaker, and he's effectively acting like a kid, essentially. And by the end of the film, you can definitely see the seeds of how he will develop into the Harrison Ford character that we know from A New Hope. And I think with regards to Lando was done really well, and there has been talk about doing a Lando spin-off film. I would like to see that, because I think in the old Legends material, Lando certainly had quite a lot of stories to tell. And so I'd be interested to see what they would do with Lando in the new canon. So there are definitely possibilities there. But what about the plot? The plot of Solo. The plot is effectively a heist film. It's not a war film. You do get one scene of a battlefield, but you don't really see too much of it, and it's not really focused on so much. Unlike the previous Star Wars films, the Empire isn't a major focal point. It's not about, oh, what is the Empire doing in this film? What is their big, bad, nefarious plan that they're up to? That isn't really the case in this film, because the Empire are present in Solo, but they're sort of in the background. They're just there. They're there as a consequence, essentially. The film doesn't focus on the Empire really at all, which I thought was a nice change. We got something a bit different. We got to explore the universe of Star Wars on the big screen just a little bit more. And it mostly focuses on Solo trying to effectively rescue his girlfriend Kira from Corellia. as we find out as the film goes on, Kira has effectively become a bit of a gangster herself. And so this person that Solo thinks, or at least fondly remembers, doesn't really exist anymore. She's not quite... Kira is never really a villain. She does kind of betray him at the end of the film, but she's never really this big bad guy or anything like that. You know, like she is, you could say to some extent, like a bit of a complex character, or at least they've set the foundation of making her a complex character. In my opinion, they did anyway. One of the big surprises about this film was this cameo appearance by Darth Maul. That legitimately surprised me. I was not expecting it at all. For a second, just was you believe me, logically it makes no sense whatsoever, but for a split second, when that hologram appeared, and you had a Sith Lord present in the room, for a second I thought it was going to be Darth Revan. Just for a split second. I thought, oh my goodness gracious, they are actually going to bring back Darth Revan and he's going to be in the Rebel Empire period. But no, it was Darth Maul. And what I thought was great was that they got the... I've forgotten to get the actor's name. Sam Witwer, I think it is. Whatever. The same actor who played Darth Maul in Rebels and the Clone Wars, they got him to play Darth Maul in this film. And that was a pleasant surprise, because he does the voice of Darth Maul really well. And, well, this film leaves a possibility for sequels. It has an open door ending. It doesn't end on the big cliffhanger, which I'm grateful for, but it does leave the door open for sequels to tell direct stories from these characters' point of view. But I think, well, this is a video for another time, but I think the reception that Solo is getting and just the reaction to it, I just don't see direct sequels to Solo. But put it this way, I doubt we'll get Solo 2, a Star Wars story. And like I said, we'll talk more about that in a different video. So regardless, if they're going to do anything with regards to Kira and Maul, I have no idea. But again, bringing it back to Solo being a self-contained story, it's good. It is good. It's not terrible. It is actually a good film. But perhaps that is the problem. It's just good. And I think for Star Wars, it needs to be great. And unfortunately, it wasn't great. But would I recommend seeing Solo? Yes. Definitely go and see it. If you're a hardcore Star Wars fan, you will get some enjoyment out of this film. You will find put it this way. Go into this film with an open mind and you'll enjoy yourself. For casual moviegoers, definitely go see Solo. It's you don't have to know the full backstory to Star Wars to enjoy this film. I'm not kidding when I say it is very much a self-contained story. And so for casual moviegoers, yes, definitely go see it. You will definitely enjoy it. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.